Okay, let's dive right in. You know that feeling, right? When you're just trying to find a simple answer, maybe on a company website, or even like digging through internal stuff at work.
Oh, yeah.
And it just feels like this digital maze. You're scrolling forever, the search results are useless.
And that search bar feels like it's judging you.
Totally. And then from the business side, thinking about updating all that, ugh,
Mm.
it's often just a task people dread.
It's a really common frustration. These knowledge bases, they're supposed to help, but yeah, they can get so overwhelming, inefficient for customers,
Yeah.
and honestly, a real headache for the teams trying to keep them accurate.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to explore a solution that's trying to, flip that script.
Yeah.
We're focusing on Norm, this knowledge-based platform.
Hmm.
And we've got this article here that really highlights its key features and how it's designed to give businesses a genuine competitive edge.
Right. So our mission really for this deep dive is pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
We want to figure out how Norm tackles those typical frustrations you find with older knowledge bases.
We're going to pinpoint, the specific advantages it offers businesses that are trying to seriously level up their knowledge management and their customer support.
And we'll be digging into the features mentioned in this article to see what makes Norm, well, different.
Exactly. What makes it stand out.
Right. So this article we're basing this on, it really lays out Norm's competitive edge by focusing on some core functions. And the very first thing that jumps out is how Norm uses generative AI for search.
Okay.
Now, generative AI, for anyone maybe less familiar, it's a type of AI that can actually create new content. In this case, direct answers to your questions.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is that Norm isn't just doing basic keyword matching, like the older systems often do.
Great.
It's apparently designed to understand the actual question someone's asking and then give a direct, precise answer in natural language, almost like asking another person.
And here's a really crucial point. The article makes the guardrails.
This AI isn't just like pulling random stuff from the web. It's specifically trained to draw its answers only from the content the business itself loads into Norm's CMS, the content management system.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that seems like a massive step up for getting accurate, relevant info, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Because you're controlling the source. Businesses can make sure customers get answers based on verified, approved content.
Yeah.
That's so important for like brand voice consistency and avoiding those weird, sometimes incorrect AI answers you hear about.
But it gets even more interesting. The article specifically calls out that Norm's CMS can treat PDFs as fully searchable articles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, think about how often the info you need is just buried in some PDF attachment you have to download and then manually search through. For you listening, if you felt that pain, this could be, well, a game changer.
That's a really significant advantage, you're right, because traditional systems, they often struggle with PDFs. They're like locked boxes, basically.
Yeah.
So Norm's AI, being able to actually read and understand PDF content and use it for answers, that massively expands the knowledge base without needing tons of extra work converting everything.
So what we're seeing here is a real 1-2 punch. Customers get instant, direct answers, making their experience, way smoother.
Mm-hmm.
And for the user, all that wasted time clicking through endless articles, pretty much gone. That's a big efficiency boost.
Precisely. It just streamlines the whole support process, makes it much easier for customers to self-serve quickly, and that leads to happier customers. Plus, it frees up support teams from those repetitive, easy questions.
Okay, so the AI helps customers find information faster. Makes sense. But what about the businesses needing to manage all that info effectively? That seems to be where Norm's customizable articles come in.
Right.
The article mentions 24/7 access to a built-in rich text editor. That sounds, well, fairly standard maybe, but the speed of the updates is what caught my eye.
Yeah, the speed is noteworthy. It says changes made in the editor show up on the public knowledge base within seconds of saving and publishing.
Seconds.
Wow. In today's world, that kind of agility is, well, it's vital for keeping info accurate and timely for your customers.
And then there's this built-in version control for articles. Now, that sounds like a real safety net. For anyone who's ever accidentally deleted or overwritten something critical,
Definitely.
imagine just clicking back to a previous version.
It adds a really valuable layer of security and flexibility, too. Businesses can track different versions, see who changed what and when, and easily revert if something goes wrong, or even just to compare.
Yeah, like if you're testing different ways to explain something.
Exactly. or rolling out significant updates. It gives you that control.
And the article even sort of hints at connecting this version control to the analytics features, which I know we'll get to, suggesting teams could test different article versions to see which one actually performs better with the audience.
That's smart. It points towards a more data-driven way to manage knowledge, doesn't it? Instead of just guessing what works, you can use actual audience feedback and data to refine your content, make sure it's as effective as possible.
Okay, now, here's a challenge lots of businesses run into. Having some information that's just for the internal team and other stuff that customers need to see. How does Norm handle that balancing act?
Well, Norm seems to address this pretty directly. It lets businesses classify content visibility, public, internal, or, interestingly, both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah. So it ensures sensitive internal stuff stays internal, while the necessary public info is easily accessible.
And I thought this next bit was particularly clever. Sometimes you might have a customer-facing article, but maybe there's some internal context that would be helpful for your own team member looking at it.
Right, like for a support agent, maybe?
Exactly. So Norm's editor apparently lets you securely place these internal-only modules within a public article.
Interesting. That's quite a nuanced approach. So instead of totally separate silos, it allows for this controlled integration where it makes sense.
Yeah.
That could give employees valuable background, maybe for helping a customer, without cluttering the customer's view with internal details they don't need. It shows some thoughtful design around information sharing complexities.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. How do you actually know if all this is working? If the AI is helpful, if the articles are clear, the article highlights Norm's advanced analytics and reporting.
Yeah, accessible 24/7, right in the CMS.
So what kind of insights are we talking about here? What can businesses actually get from these tools?
Well, the reporting tracks some really key data points. Things like, which articles are most popular, what specific questions people are asking the AI.
Okay.
But maybe even more importantly, it tracks the success rate of those questions. Are users actually finding the answers they need, or are they hitting dead ends?
That seems incredibly useful for spotting gaps. If you see certain questions keep getting asked, but the AI isn't providing good answers, or the success rate is low.
That's your signal right there.
Yeah, it's a clear sign you need to create or improve content in that specific area, right?
Exactly. It lets businesses be proactive about finding and filling those knowledge gaps.
Huh?
It helps ensure the knowledge base gets more comprehensive and better over time.
Makes sense.
Plus, just knowing which articles are popular helps you understand what your audience really values and maybe which content needs a refresh.
And what about direct feedback? Does the user get a say?
Yes, the article mentions a customer feedback mechanism.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty straightforward, a simple 1 to 5-star rating system for the answers the generative AI gives.
Okay, that's direct.
It is. And that direct feedback loop is so important for gauging how well the AI responses are actually meeting customer needs. It gives you qualitative data, those star ratings, to go alongside the quantitative stuff like success rates.
So you get the numbers and the user feeling.
Right. It lets businesses really fine-tune the performance and the reliability of their whole knowledge system continuously.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. Based on what we've discussed from this article, Norm seems to offer this competitive advantage through, well, several key things. You've got the AI-powered search giving direct answers, but only from your own content. That feels big.
Definitely. The guardrails.
Then there's the flexible content management, the editor, the version control.
Making updates easy and safe.
Right. And that clear separation, but also potential integration of internal and public knowledge.
Handling that common complexity.
And finally, the analytics. Insightful data to see what's working, what's not, and where to improve.
Yeah, precisely. It really looks like a solution built to tackle those frustrations we mentioned right at the start, the clunky, outdated knowledge bases.
Yeah.
By focusing on efficiency for both the customer searching and the team managing it, ease of use, and these data-driven insights for ongoing improvement.
Which kind of brings us to a bigger thought, doesn't it? I mean, think about what it really means to have a knowledge base that's truly intelligent, truly adaptable like this seems to aim for. How could that fundamentally shift how businesses interact? Not just with customers, but with their internal teams, too.
It's a good question.
And, what new possibilities might open up when information becomes this easy to access, this easy to manage, and this insightful? It definitely gives you something to mull over.